You gave me what turned out to be a more difficult task than I thought it was going to be, which is paring down my tools to 10.
To celebrate our community of local artists, the Art Museum of South Texas is asking 10 creatives one question. What 10 tools do you use to make blank?
My name is Benjamin Sorrell. I'm a fibers artist, and I make mixed media collage pieces. These days, I consider myself more a textile or fibers artist that does printmaking more than the reverse. I use a lot of thin embroidery needles, Sashiko needles, for the Japanese practice of Sashiko. Different thread, the only non-thrifted or donated or found object that I still use. There are these machines, darning machines. This one's from Russia. To be able to get this really, really beautiful uniform structure with a lot of color and variation, this darning machine is just extremely helpful. The hooks are shaped in such a way that they act like a loom, so it ends up making a really well put together sort of patch for the material, because it literally is weaving. That's what weaving is. A buttonholer, which is a little tool. It's just a flat edged blade with a little wooden handle, and you literally just punch it into garments. You punch it into the garment to be and make buttonholes. And so it's just a really easy way of getting a straight across hole for making a button, and then you can stitch around the edges to make the buttonhole sort of stabilized so that it doesn't fray away. So it's not just about repairing the clothing, it's also about making it fit your life and your lifestyle. Hardware. But when I say hardware, I mean things like buttons, hook and loops, key hooks, fastening tools, eyelet and rivet setters, zippers, or button covers. You would slip them over a button to make them look fancier. This is probably one of the most important things to me, at least in sentiment or and in practicality, which is a ring thimble. In Sashiko, you use a ring thimble. The metal that you push with is centered on your palm instead of on your finger. And so it gives you a lot more sort of force to push a needle through fabric. I got to meet a teacher of mine, Atsushi Futatsuya. He's a Sashiko artisan. As a little bit of a gift, he handed me one of his ring thimbles. And I really love it, and I enjoy using these ring thimbles a lot more than I enjoy the sort of European style. So I have pinking shears here and regular fabric scissors. You know, you have to write fabric all over them so that nobody uses them for paper and dulls them up. Pinking shears, they have this sawtooth edge, and what that does is when you cut through them with pinking shears, they end up forming this sort of pyramid shape that's quite a bit harder to fray. So carving tools, linoleum carving tools, and some Japanese wood and, well, all-purpose in a way, carving tools. This one's really special. This is 1 millimeter, so these are really, really tiny tools. Little sort of handheld tools are really fantastic for me and for what I do, to be able to make patterns and images that are easy to print on fabric. Fabrics. Fabrics is, again, one of those cheater ones, very general term. I would like to say that I hold an affinity for a specific type of fabric, but really my only rule is natural. So natural materials like cotton, linen, wool. I don't use a whole lot of like polyester stuff because in a way I kind of don't want to like reintroduce it back into the environment. So what I've actually been doing is whenever I get polyester materials, I use it for art. And I just hope, I cross my fingers and I hope that if it's sitting in a gallery, it can't be in the ocean. I use natural dye. Natural indigo, I use avocado skins and pits. Orange, tea, coffee. You can get a lot of really beautiful color out of onion skins, which is where a lot of this mask was made. The kind of dye that I put into it is made from the food waste that I already make, you know, from day in and day out. I'm making these patches to sort of entice people into like, ooh, I want that. You know, like I want to beautify some old, you know, shirt that I don't wear anymore. And then when you change it like that and you stitch over it and you add color to it, it becomes sort of a new thing for somebody. And it becomes a new object and they can love it again in a different way.